Hello again. I'm sure that viewers in Britain must have noticed how often the expression far right is being used these days. It has become something of a catchphrase, and one cannot open a newspaper or turn on the television news without hearing that this or that person or group is part of the far right. From political parties in Germany to people protesting about immigration on the streets of English towns. Almost everybody these days is denounced as being far right. What does this actually mean, though? Nobody really knows how to define the term, which is very handy, of course, because it means that you can be pretty free with using it about anybody with whose politics you disagree. The organisation Hope Not Hope, Hate Not Hope, or I should say Hope Not Hate, who are a bunch of malicious mischief makers who make a living out of being anti-racist, produced an amusing piece a few days ago in which they set out to define what is actually meant by far right. I give a link to the article in the description to this video, and most entertaining is too. It's headed Call Them What They Are, the importance of using the term far right. And I cannot remember when last I enjoyed reading something of this kind so much. It is, of course, written in an almost incomprehensible style, with sentences such as far right is an umbrella term, and while useful, it is not a monolith, which is why academics and practitioners split it further into its constituent parts. Who the practitioners are here and what they practice remains obscure. Viewers can plough through the thing if they are minded to do so, but it can be summed up as follows. The extreme far right rejects the essence of democracy, that is, popular sovereignty and majority rule, whereas the radical right accepts the essence of democracy but opposes fundamental elements of liberal democracy, most notably minority rights, rule of law, and separation of powers. Such definitions are, of course, completely useless and misleading because those features are not exclusive to the supposed far right. It may, for all I know to the contrary, be true that the extreme far right rejects the essence of democracy and the idea of popular sovereignty. So too do an awful lot of people on the moderate left. One remembers the frantic efforts of so many people to thwart the democratic process and popular sovereignty by trying to stop Britain leaving the European Union, even though that was the expressed will of the people. There were an awful lot of people involved in such manoeuvres, and I do not believe that the principal players were far right. Instead, this rejection of the essence of democracy was a left wing enterprise. The idea that the radical right rejects the doctrine of the separation of powers is a strange one, too. The current government, the executive in this country, made determined efforts during the recent disorders to order the judiciary to act in a particular way. There could hardly be a more flagrant breach of the concept of the separation of powers, and yet the man who masterminded this, Keir Starmer, was a Labour Prime Minister. I do not believe that Hope Not Hate have the faintest idea what is actually meant by far right, and what distinguishes the far right from any other political grouping in Britain. What is certain is that, as this article urges, they want people to continue to use the expression far right at every available opportunity, even if those describing this or that body as far right have no idea at all what they actually mean by it.